Hey, what's up everybody? I'm Waller's Wallet, and in this video we're going to talk about the upcoming changes to the Hyatt program, including hotels that are moving categories and how this is going to affect you moving forward, especially with the addition of peak and off-peak pricing. Now, if you're someone who likes credit card rewards and learning how to travel for less, consider subscribing to the channel and turning the bell notification on as well. And if you want a simple way to help out the channel, give this video a thumbs up. It really does help out against the YouTube algorithm. Now, the category changes in peak and off-peak pricing is going into effect March 22nd. So you still have time to lock in award stays before these prices change. And if the price drops, either being off-peak or moving down in a category, Hyatt is going to refund the difference automatically to your account, which is always nice of them. Now, let's talk category changes. When it comes to the number of properties being adjusted, there are 218 total properties being adjusted. And from that, 117 properties are increasing in price, while 101 are decreasing. So overall, slightly more going up than going down, but from a far out glance, it's pretty well balanced. But let's take a deeper look by region. And when you look here in the US, there are 81 properties changing category, which account for 37% of the total changes, with 58 properties increasing in price and 23 decreasing in price. So we're going to see 35 more properties increase in price than decrease here in the United States. For Europe, there are 65 properties being adjusted, with 31 properties increasing in price and 34 properties decreasing. So we see more properties decrease and increase, which is pretty awesome. For Africa and the Middle East, only 13 properties are changing, with 5 increasing in price and 8 decreasing in price. When looking at Asia, there are 42 properties changing categories, with 20 properties increasing in price and 22 decreasing in price. Then we have the Caribbean and Latin America, where we have 12 properties changing categories, with 3 properties increasing and 9 properties decreasing. Then you have Australia in the Pacific, and here we only see 5 hotels change categories, but they're all decreasing in price. So when you look at the total breakdown, US properties account for about half of the properties increasing in price, but only about 20% of the total decreases. Now, a handful of the small luxury hotel properties are increasing to Category 8, and there are none going down to Category 7. So we'll have to see if Hyatt plans to keep moving up small luxury hotel properties in categories, or even if they potentially be adding non-small luxury hotel properties to Category 8 in the future as well. And remember, Category 8 properties are 40,000 points per night. Now, the other part to consider is how many properties will be moving between Category 4 to 5 and from 5 to 4. And this is important to take note for those Hyatt certificates you get with your Hyatt credit cards. Because remember, those certificates are good up to a Category 4 property. And the hotel certificates at the time are not changing. So you're still going to be able to use them at a Category 4 property, even if it's peak pricing. Hyatt is currently not like Marriott, where they cap you out at a certain price per night, just a certain category level. And here in the US, 10 properties are moving from Category 4 to 5, and only 3 are moving down from 5 to 4. So we do lose 7 opportunities to use these certificates. In Europe, 4 properties are moving from Category 4 to 5, but 5 are going down from 5 to 4. For Africa and the Middle East, we see 2 properties increase from 4 to 5 and none decreasing. In Asia, we're going to see 5 properties increase from 4 to 5, but 4 properties decrease from 5 to 4. And in the Caribbean and Latin America, there are no changes in either category. Then for Australia and the Pacific area, we're going to see 2 properties decrease from 5 to 4 with no increases. So overall, we're going to see 21 properties go up from a Category 4 to 5, while 14 properties decrease from a Category 5 to 4. Not a huge difference, but still something to notice, since overall there are 7 fewer hotels to use our certificates at. Then we have the addition of peak and off-peak pricing. So not only are hotel categories changing, but we're also seeing peak and off-peak award pricing going into effect at the exact same time. Now, while the peak and off-peak pricings could have been easily worse from Hyatt, the double whammy here comes from properties that move up in category but are now also subjected to peak pricing. So, for example, if we had a hotel that went from a Category 4 to 5, the pricing already went up from 15,000 points per night to 20,000 points per night. But it could be as high as 23,000 points per night for peak pricing. This would be a 53% increase in costs, which honestly kind of sucks. But on the flip side, hotels that go from categories 5 to 4 will drop from 20,000 points per night to 15,000 points per night, and could be as low as 12,000 points per night for off-peak pricing. And this could be up to a 40% price decrease at that time. So you know what, you win some here, you lose some. That's just the way the game goes. Now, I'll be very interested in how Hyatt manages the peak and off-peak pricing, because if we're seeing a disproportionate number of properties being peak to off-peak or even standard pricing, then this could make the addition of peak and off-peak pricing even worse. But you know what, we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. Then there are some changes coming to the cash and point option as well. Hyatt currently charges 50% of the room cost in points and 50% of the cash rate when you decide to use cash and points. But they are adjusting this to be 50% of the point cost, which isn't changing, but the cash portion will be 50 to 70% off. And you're still going to need to run the numbers to see if it's worth it, but overall the cash and points option is not nearly as appealing of an option. It doesn't mean that there won't be occasional deals when it's 70% off the cash price. I'm still thinking this is going to be very limited in use and overall not a great use of your Hyatt points. Now, I appreciate Hyatt giving us notice on these changes, because there have been some programs that haven't been doing that and making changes with no notice to customers, which I think is just terrible. And we can still book and lock in the lower prices before these changes take place. And I know we don't like to see changes, but for the most part, these changes are pretty well balanced from Hyatt. Even if there are slightly more properties increasing in price, you know what? At least they didn't bon voy us here. In the US has the most number of Hyatt properties, around 700 properties when you look at their Hyatt map. So the total number of properties moving up or down is about 12% of the US portfolio. And the certificates you get from the credit card still offer you plenty of value and definitely worth holding on to if you're someone who stays at Hyatt. But even with these changes, Hyatt points are still the most valuable hotel points out on the market, even if they do take a slight hit in value here. But we'll have to see how things are implemented and reevaluate Hyatt points value at that time, which I do plan to do when these changes are put into effect. So tell me, what do you think of these changes coming from Hyatt? Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in this video. If you want to help support the channel, a simple way would be use links on the website or in the description below. And if you know somebody who could benefit from the video, feel free to share with them. And until next time, safe travels and take care.